Your modern morals. The ethical rules and values you cling to like lifelines, the social contracts you obey without question. What if they were fragile illusions, carefully constructed myths designed to keep you trapped? Imagine an ancient voice, raw and relentless, whispering in your ear that everything you believe about right and wrong is not only flawed, but fundamentally broken. That voice belongs to the ancient Cynics, philosophers who lived over 2,000 years ago, yet whose brutal worldview cuts sharper than any modern moral discourse. The Cynics were not mere skeptics or quiet thinkers. They were warriors of truth, iconoclasts who tore down the hypocrisies of their time with ruthless honesty. Rejecting comfort, social status, and the accepted values of Athenian society, they embraced a philosophy of radical freedom. Freedom that came only by discarding all illusions and living in absolute accordance with nature and self-sufficiency. But make no mistake, their version of freedom was savage, disruptive, and unforgiving. It would shatter your modern morals to dust and leave you exposed, raw, and awake. In today's world, we take for granted moral systems handed down through centuries. Religions, cultural norms, laws, all teaching us to behave properly, to pursue virtue, to seek justice and kindness. Yet the Cynics would see most of this as a kind of prison. They believed that these morals serve more to maintain social order than to cultivate true human flourishing. They are tools of control, illusions to keep you compliant, fearful, and distracted from the core of your own existence. The Cynics' fiercest attack is on the very foundation of modern ethics, the need for approval. In your everyday life, how often do you alter your behavior, suppress your thoughts, or abandon your desires simply because you fear judgment? The Cynics would call this weakness. They live to dismantle that need, to strip away the layers of social conditioning that demand conformity, and to expose the raw individual beneath. To understand why they would destroy your modern morals, you must first grasp their key principle: autarkia, or self-sufficiency. Not just financial independence, but mental and emotional sovereignty. The Cynics sought to be completely free from dependence on anything external: status, wealth, fame, even other people's opinions. This is where they collide most violently with modern morals. Our society glorifies connection, community, and empathy, but the Cynics warn, reliance on others for validation or meaning is a chain disguised as a bond. Their life was a relentless exercise in defiance. Diogenes of Sinope, perhaps the most famous Cynic, lived naked in a barrel, mocked Alexander the Great, and flaunted every social convention. He taught that virtue is the only true good, and that everything else, comfort, wealth, power, is meaningless and corrupting. Your morals, steeped in the desire for comfort and acceptance, would be crushed beneath the weight of such radical honesty. But how would they specifically dismantle your values? First, they would expose the hypocrisy behind many modern moral stances. Consider kindness. Is your kindness genuine, or is it performed to gain social approval or avoid guilt? The Cynics would challenge you to face the truth that many acts of goodness are transactional, self-serving, or born of fear. This ruthless questioning cuts deep, forcing you to either strip kindness down to its barest, most authentic form, or abandon it altogether. Justice is another casualty in their assault. The Cynics saw so-called justice not as a universal ideal, but as a social construct wielded by the powerful to maintain control. Your trust in laws and fairness would be shattered as they revealed justice's slippery foundation, often blind to true virtue and justice itself becoming a mask for manipulation and oppression. Their destruction extends to your beliefs about happiness. Modern morality often equates happiness with pleasure, comfort, and success. The Cynics reject this entirely, preaching instead a life of asceticism and endurance, embracing discomfort as a path to freedom. To them, your pursuit of happiness might look like cowardice or spiritual laziness, a refusal to confront life's inherent suffering. The Cynics' philosophy is not nihilistic despair, as some might assume. It is a call to brutal awakening. They demand that you shed all illusions, religious dogma, societal expectations, moral platitudes, and face the naked reality of existence. The body ages, the world is indifferent, and death is certain. To live fully, they say, is to accept this truth without flinching, and to build your life on your own terms, free from deception. And yet, this freedom comes at a cost. The Cynics were often outcasts, mocked and scorned by their contemporaries. Their rejection of morals made them enemies of the state, religion, and society's comfortable lies. To follow their path means risking alienation, loneliness, and conflict. But it also means embracing an unshakable inner strength, one forged in the fires of truth and independence. In modern terms, their philosophy is a radical critique of conformity and the herd mentality. They would argue that the majority of people are enslaved by fear, the fear of judgment, failure, pain, and uncertainty. Your morals are part of that fear. You live by rules because you fear chaos. The Cynics would tell you that true freedom means walking into the chaos willingly, armed with nothing but your own integrity and courage. If you're still listening, you might feel unsettled, even threatened. That's the point. The Cynics would want you to feel discomfort, because that discomfort is the crack in your mental prison, the first glimpse of true liberty. Your mind is a battleground, and the ancient Cynics bring weapons sharpened by millennia of rebellion. They don't want you to feel safe or comfortable. They want you to feel alive, awake, and free, even if it means dismantling everything you thought you knew about morality. So what now? Will you cling to your modern morals, safe but constrained? Or will you step into the fire of Cynic philosophy and discover what it means to live untamed? The choice is yours. But remember, true freedom has no room for comfortable lies. If this message resonates, if you feel the stirrings of rebellion in your soul, then subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you dare to question everything. Share it with those who need to wake up. And comment below. What modern moral would you be willing to destroy for freedom? The journey isn't easy, but the reward is beyond price. A mind unchained, a life lived on your own terms.